Now, a lot has been going on when it comes to the election, including some good news if you're one of the crazy lefties that think a lot of people voting is good for a democracy. Take a look at this amazing news coming out of Texas.
Breaking news this morning, the Texas Secretary of State's office is reporting that more than 9 million early ballots have been cast, more votes than were cast in all of 2016. This comes as the Biden campaign is taking aim at the Lone Star State. Running mate Kamala Harris will visit the state today on the final day where early voting is taking place, making stops in Fort Worth, McAllen, and Houston.
Okay, so they apparently are going to be going, which is what we've been asking for a couple of weeks now. And by the way, we don't know. Texas could still very well go for the GOP. We don't know what the increased turnout means necessarily, but the fact that they've already before election day passed the number of votes cast in 2016, that objectively I think should be one of the things we hope for in a democracy, that people actually feel like they should vote. And at least in Texas so far, it looks like that's actually happening.
Yeah, it's always a good thing to see more people voting. But there are states, I know Texas is Texas, but right now, Democrats or Texas Republican Dan Patrick is saying that is already like trying to counterbalance all that stuff with all the things that are in line with what we just talked about. Trump saying they're echoing it. They're all laying the groundwork. There's still this situation where in Texas counties you can't drop off your ballot at more than one place. So the fact that people have overcome all this, the fact that they have received all these ballots in time, does not mean that all the ballots that were sent in time will be received in time. If not in Texas, then everywhere else. Basically what I'm trying to say is don't take anything for granted. Everything Trump has done has been laying the groundwork to pounce on any ambiguity or perceived ambiguity about the election results. He wants to stop counting the ballots before people, even in a non-coronavirus election, stop counting the ballots. He wants to stop basically at midnight on election night, even if things were received on election day or postmarked in time. He's got the court set up. He is crying foul on the concept of mail-in voting. So the one way to be safe is to get out there and vote more. Make it not even close. Run up the score. Do everything you can, because in the last, as John has pointed out, they weren't necessarily outside the margin for error in all these polls last go around, but it was at the bottom of the margin of error. Don't make it close. Don't make it close. Don't cruise, as my JV basketball coach used to say. Get out there and vote.
Yeah, to give you an idea of how much he's tweeting, I was trying to find a tweet that I saw earlier, and he's tweeted so much that it took me a long time. So the Supreme Court, obviously in the Wisconsin case that Brett was talking about, decided if you, through no fault of your own, sent in your ballot, you might have sent it 10 days before the election day, but it didn't arrive until after, because despite the fact this is America and we're rich and all that, our mail just doesn't work because it's been decimated. They're not going to count your vote. They're just not going to. But to be fair, the Supreme Court has also rejected a bid from Republicans to block the extension of North Carolina's extension for absentee ballots. So there will be this period of up to 9 days after election day that, as long as it was postmarked by election day, it can still be received and counted, which, unless you only look at every bit of news purely from the point of view of how does this affect my team's chance of winning, that seems eminently reasonable. It was postmarked before election day. It should be counted, and the Supreme Court, I'm giving them credit, have ruled the right way. Now, I believe in that case, as in a few others, these ballots that come in later that are going to be counted are still being separated from other ballots. So hypothetically, if there were future challenges, those could be taken out later. If something happened, that's now a fear in a couple of different states where those are going to be sort of separated. So bear that in mind. But Texas is having a lot of voting. I believe that the country as a whole has already surpassed the total number of votes. I think I read that today, but we're definitely seeing it in other states. In Montana, for instance, they, as of yesterday, were at 97.22% of their 2016 total. And interestingly, it's not just that a lot of people are voting. But hopefully, based on the data we're seeing, certain types of people that are low propensity voters in most elections are as well. A poll released Monday by Harvard University's Institute of Politics surveyed 18 to 29-year-olds and found that 63% said that they would definitely vote in the election, which is the highest proportion of respondents in 20 years that the poll of young voters has been conducted. It's way higher than 2016 when it was about 47% said they would definitely vote. And what's interesting is that, of course, what does it mean to say that you're definitely gonna vote when a lot of people have already voted? I think that number is both more is not just higher, it's also more reflective of reality because more people are voting early. And we have in that group more than 6 million voters had already cast their ballot. In 2016, at this point, it was at 2 million. So
I mean, that's a ridiculous. You don't come on now. That's a
come on. What?
I mean, there wasn't a pandemic last time. I hate all these stats that are like, more people are voting early this time. It's like, obviously, the stats we do need to pay attention to are the ones that are, yes, there are more people who have already voted this time than voted in the entirety of the last election. That's the stuff I'll listen to.
Well, we had that.
But that, no, I'm just saying, I'm just saying like, fine. You just gave me 2 stats. I said what I prefer to listen to over the other one.
Take them all.
All right,
take them all.
Cool. I'll just sit. I'll just sit.
Like the whole package?
No. I'll text
be there,
friends.
Okay. Okay. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.